weeks leading up to the elections in Andhra Pradesh, instances of trolling, abusive posts, body shaming, and threatening comments on social media platforms have surged. From ordinary citizens to politicians, alleged sympathizers of political parties are targeting individuals across the spectrum. One such politically motivated vicious trolling has now allegedly led to suicide of an Andhra woman. Now, little did the victim know that the plot she received for free under the Andhra Pradesh government's Jagannath housing scheme on 4th of March would leave her school-going daughters motherless. However, police has said that the reason of the suicide is unknown. Her family has alleged that she took the extreme step after she was trolled on social media by workers of the opposition parties TDP and Janasena for speaking in favour of Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy. Now, during a YSR Congress Party event on March 4th, the victim had spoken about receiving a plot through the Andhra Pradesh government's Jagannath housing scheme. In a widely circulated video, she had said that she had received benefits from various welfare schemes implemented by the government. Now, soon after, YSRCP utilized the video as promotional material. This led to online harassment, with some individuals resorting to using derogatory language against her on social media platforms. Trollers enunciated that she had been paid to make positive statements for Jagan Mohan Reddy. Expressing shock over the incident, Chief Minister YS Jagan Mohan Reddy sanctioned an ex gratia of rupees 20 lakh for Geetanjali's family.
The language she was told in doesn't have any space in today's civilized world. Due to that, she could not bear, she could not cope up with it. She was mentally very disturbed and took the extreme step. Not only her, even her family members, her husband, her in-laws, they were not able to face the world. During this case, as per the inputs from the family members and the investigation and report of Investigation Officer of Railways, we would be registering the case here in Tenali One town and sections would be altered to the 306 APC, that is abetment to suicide.
All right, I'm also being joined in by my guest this afternoon, Kanish Gaur, cybersecurity expert and founder, India Future Foundation. Kanish, thank you very much for taking the time out and joining us here this afternoon. You know, as we speak about such instances, this is not the first time, unfortunately, but let us understand in such a situation, is it time to be targeting these trolls? Is there any mechanism for it? We've seen this is probably the bane of social media.
See, what is currently lacking is the IT laws are really weak. Somebody who's bullying or trolling you, the laws aren't very strong to go after that person. And people can be anonymous. They can run a full-fledged campaign for targeting women, specifically the vulnerable group. So what is today required is a law which could look at safeguarding users from such online harms, which include bullying or trolling. The current IT laws really can't put people behind bars for doing such activity. And this has become organized crime today, where people would target anyone who's a human rights activist or who's raising a voice. So I think what requires is more stringent laws with respect to the IT Act and specifically bullying and trolling. So as we are navigating the Digital India Act today and post the elections, new law will come in. I think the government will bring out more stringent laws to safeguard users. Right now, most of the law is focused on safeguarding national security, national safety, but consumer rights, consumer protection, safeguarding the vulnerable groups is something which is needed. If you look at globally, there are online protection laws which are coming in. UK is looking at bringing out such online protection law. Australia is contemplating. Hence, a similar law is needed in India. The other thing which is required is the social media platforms also need to take stringent measures if such ads come in, where they can take down such content or block users who are doing it willfully. Hence, platforms like Meta, Twitter need to do more, particularly to safeguard Indian users from such bullying or trolling. And today, with the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning, this becomes much simpler.
But Kanishk, as you point that out and also, of course, spoken about the popular social media platforms, do you think there would be a lot of loopholes and challenges to implement it, or is it easier said than done? All right, we're going to try connecting with Kanishk Gaur, who is a cybersecurity expert. In fact, he was, of course, shedding light on how there is a need for stringent laws. He believes that there is a loophole on that front in terms of course, how we see it around the world to have better IT laws, that is, so that we can figure how to better navigate such instances. He's gone on to also, of course, call it, beg your pardon, an organized crime, and shedding light on how social media platforms, the popular ones, including the likes of Meta, Instagram, can do better to ensure that such instances don't happen. They can tighten their particular rules in such instances. But this is essentially a story that we're telling you that has happened from Andhra Pradesh. Kanishk, I understand we lost your connection in between, but talking about what you were pointing out, in terms of the social media platforms, you said they would need to have stricter rules, but would the implementation of that, in your opinion, be a challenge?
I don't think so. That is a challenge. It is only the willingness of these organizations. If more pressure is put on these platforms, they can start using various tools and technologies to take down such content, right? So the government needs to put right kind of pressure on these platforms to control these trolling and bullying, which is happening, particularly when it is targeting the women in India, it is targeting children and adolescents in India. So the onus today lies on platforms and not just on the government right now. So if more pressure is put on some of these platforms to act, these platforms can act. And it is not about people today, it is about using technology. You can just look at using AI-based toolkits which can detect such trolling which is being done willfully. So I think what's required is these platforms to act or to prevent such incidents from happening. And this is just one instance which you have put out. There are multiple instances where people are doing self-harm, suicide, and it's important the right steps are taken at this point of time to control all of this.
Right, Kanishk. I appreciate you taking the time out and joining us here and helping us understand what are the loopholes and, of course, how essentially the government, of course, can implement these so that we don't see such instances again. Thank you very much for taking the time out.